How's it going, guys? Today we were playing Warcraft, Orcs and Humans. It was the original Warcraft game made by Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard Entertainment was actually originally called Silicon and Synapse, and they made games such as Lost Vikings, Rock and Roller Racing on Super Nintendo, Diablo, StarCraft, and more recently Hearthstone and Overwatch, which Ryan's a big fan of. Warcraft, the original, set the standard for all of the Warcraft games that came later on.
I really wanted to play this game not only because, you know, the new movie's coming out and it's based on this game, but also because, you know, Blizzard has been making a lot of moves lately, whether it's, you know, Hearthstone getting really popular and having the organized play and everything, to Overwatch coming out, to a new Warcraft expansion in August. There's a lot going on. And I thought now it's time to look at the thing that really started it all. I mean,
it was their first breakout hit.
The first big hit.
Yeah.
There have been other, like, real-time strategy games. There have been other things that were kind of touching on that
Command and Conquer.
Command and Conquer came later. Like, Dune came out around that time. Real-time strategy didn't start with them, but I think they gave one of the first really great examples.
It seemed to have popularized it.
Absolutely. Everybody will say Warcraft 2 is a better game, and you really can't argue that point. I mean, it absolutely is a better game.
I think it is a better game. It improved upon a lot.
One of the things that I think is really amazing about Warcraft and why I think it's historically significant is the fact that so much of the Warcraft story was figured out in this game. It's shocking. I mean, this is a game, we're in 1994. We don't even know there's going to be a World of Warcraft. We don't even know there's going to be a Warcraft 2 or Warcraft 3 or anything.
It's just this game.
But they have this gigantic story for a game that has very little to nothing to do with the gameplay.
Right.
There's no reason why this game...
It's just orcs and humans, they're battling each other.
...needs to know about these places and about these orcs. And yeah, the look of the orcs changed, like, from the pixelated cutscenes, which are still awesome, by the way, even though...
They are. I love the animation on the old cutscenes.
Even though it's different. So that changed a little bit. But the idea that, you know, there's going to be the orcs and there's going to be the humans and they're in this struggle and the orcs... homeworld is dying and they're coming, you know, to take the humans through a portal. It's like,
for a game with as limited graphics as Orcs and Humans, it had an amazing backstory, and I think that's one of the things that gave the game the longevity that it's had. Now there's a Warcraft movie, and had they not put in this elaborate story, we wouldn't be talking about Warcraft today.
Yeah, you know, we're not watching the Warwind movie. We're not watching the Command and Conquer movie, even though that would be awesome, and they should make that because those cutscenes were amazing. But this, they really put the time into that. You know, there was a lot of care, and you look at it, and you look at just the games that followed, and Blizzard never deviated from caring about the story and the environment. It's almost like a Disney-like or a, you know, Zelda, like they put a lot into it.
They were creating not just a fun basic game to play, but they were creating an entire world and mythos that really gave the game the longevity that it's had. One of the things you'll notice right off the bat is the game is very, very slow. Even when we put the game on the maximum speed, it's still pretty darn slow. So the game is dated. I find it annoying that you have to build a road if you want to place down your farm or your barracks, where in Warcraft 2 you can place it anywhere on the map as long as you've uncovered the Fog of War. So there's little things like that are annoying, but still, it's a fun game and it has the basics that Warcraft is all about.
If you look at a lot of the strategies that people use today in games like, you know, games like Warcraft 3, but also games like League of Legends or Dota, little micromanagement techniques and stuff. You can do that in this game from 1994. When enemies are attacking you this way, you can lead them on a wild goose chase, you can...
The basics are there.
Do it all. It's all there. It's just slow and cumbersome, and a lot of the quality of life things aren't there. You can't right-click on trees or on a gold mine to get the peons to mine them.
You can hit control to select up to 4 in this game.
4.
But 4 is not much.
So the first mission's all about base building, and then you destroy the enemy base, and then by the time you get to the 4th mission, they put you in a situation where you just have your army, and you need to win with the troops you have. It's not about economy. It's not about gold mines. It's just about winning. And they give you like 13 guys. So 4, 4, 4, 1.
Well, you can resurrect your guys that die, but they only turn into skeletons, which only last for so long, so they're only so good.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is, why can't I move more people? It must have been a technical limitation.
It had to have been.
Because there's no way that would have made it through.
Right.
The other thing that's kind of interesting is there is a lot in this game that's tied to the clock speed of the computer you're on. And if you're playing this game in DOSBox, you need to lower the cycles, because when you play it
it's too fast.
With the default settings, if you move the mouse a little bit off screen, it just flies, and you see the water on the beach just going super fast and things like that.
So it's funny that, you know, you're playing these old games on a modern computer. Modern computers are not set up to be playing these old games, and it's not set up. You know, it's hard to play these games on a modern machine that's not made for it.
One thing that's really cool about Warcraft is, and that carried through to almost every Blizzard RTS after that, is the fact that you get to play as both sides of the story. You get to play as the Orcs and as the humans, and the campaigns are kind of reflections of each other. Where the Orc campaign starts, the human campaign ends. Where the human campaign starts, the Orc campaign ends. And you can lead the humans to victory or the Orcs to victory. Unfortunately, the canon Warcraft story is the Orc story. Because the Orcs win in this, and that's why in Tides of Darkness, the humans have to come back. And they bring all their friends, the elves and dwarves and everything, because they get destroyed at the end of this game.
Orcs and Humans is top-down perspective. Tides of Darkness is, and then with the third game, they kind of changed to more of a 3D perspective. I've always been a fan of games like Legend of Zelda that have had the top-down perspective, and then a lot of times when games go into 3D, it's quite the transition. So since you're more familiar with World of Warcraft than I am, is there any kind of correlation between this game and the new one?
There's an unbelievable amount of correlation between Warcraft and World of Warcraft.
Okay.
There's like a million locations. I mean, it just starts with Swamp of Sorrows, but then you have the first dungeon that most people go into, Dead Mines, Red Ridge Mountains, Blackrock Spire, Black Morass, Northshire Abbey, and a bunch of other abbeys too. Elwyn Forest, which is where every human in World of Warcraft goes to start. Stormwind, which gets blown up when the Orcs win. Goldshire, which is the first town for the humans. Moonbrook, which is destroyed. The Dark Portal. Stonard, which they actually added in a patch. It wasn't in the original game. And multiple Temples of the Damned.
Wow, he knows them all. There's people that have never played a Warcraft game at all, and I think a lot of people on the outside that haven't played a game like this look at this and they say, what is all this about? It's so, there's a whole world here, and I feel like a lot of people get intimidated by these games. I really feel like people are missing out if they're not playing these games. Whether you're playing Orcs and Humans or whether you're playing World of Warcraft, you're definitely missing out on not giving these games a chance. And I think one of the things is the whole franchise kind of has a stigma about it in that it's very nerdy and geeky.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what sets a lot of people off.
There's so many people from so many different walks of life that choose to have fun like this. And I think it's almost like culturally significant, but it is this super nerdy thing.
Right.
So it's kind of like this balance. If I had to recommend a new player, say you play World of Warcraft, or you play Hearthstone, and you're like, I want to find out what this old stuff is about.
Yeah.
I'd start with Tides of Darkness.
Yeah, I would too, to be completely honest.